Assalamu alaikum, peace, healing, and light, and welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, we have a beautiful guest joining us today. And please, sis, let me know if I pronounce your name wrong. Sister Felicia.
You could just say Felicia.
Felicia. Okay, that's what I originally want to say, but it ain't got the SH. Okay.
Right, right, right.
Sister
Yeah.
Felicia Muhammad, as we'll be discussing today's topic, the hidden blueprint, unraveling subconscious programming. Sister Felicia, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am so grateful and thankful. Thank you for having me. So excited to be with you.
Yes, ma'am. A long await. Yes, been waiting to have
Yes.
you on. Praise be to Allah. Sister
Praise be to
Felicia, and
Allah.
for those who may not know who you are, you might let our audience know just a little bit more about you.
All right. So, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I am Sister Felicia Muhammad and been in the Nation of Islam for 20. No, I just had a birth anniversary registration. I registered April 13th of
Wow.
1992. 1992.
Wow.
Yes, so 32 years now registered in the Nation of Islam and born and raised up in the Baptist Church and been on a journey. Always had a personal relationship with God, and my constant prayer was to be able to know why I'm here, what am I supposed to be doing, so I can be in alignment and do, serve my purpose.
Yes.
And so I tell you, as we talk, the journey has been phenomenal. Okay. And so where do I start? So I started out um in the working as a master barber stylist. All right. So at one point in time, I was going to a community college, taking up business management because I always knew I wanted to have my own business.
Hmm.
And at the same time, the women in my family, all of them worked hard, and I saw my mother work really, really hard. And I was like, and she didn't really do a whole lot. It was just me and her, so she was just making sure I was taken care of.
Hmm.
And so that work ethic I got from her, and at the same time I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do, not like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had an entrepreneur spirit, and so I always knew I was going to have my own business and have people working with me, right? And so therefore I went to graduate from high school, went to barber college, went to a community college, took up a year and a half of business management, and then decided to go to barber college because I knew I needed to be able to be free to do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it. Did y'all
Hmm.
get that? And so it was there where because I actually wanted to be a doctor, but I knew the blood stuff wasn't, I'm kinesthetic, so I'm an empath and kinesthetic, so I feel it in my body.
Yes.
And so yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna do too well with the
Yeah.
blood stuff. Yeah, nah. And so when I went to barber college, discovered and learned that barbers were the first ones to do bloodlettings and write prescriptions.
Mm.
So a lot took me a different route to become a doctor, doctor
Yes.
of hair, And so through that, through the health and wellness or the through the salon, I was able to, when you sat in my chair, you would actually get a consultation like you were at a doctor's appointment. I'm asking you how
Mhm.
much water you're drinking, the food you're eating, based off of what you say you want to, the goals you have for your hair, right? And so I just carved out a niche with empowering people to understand that what you put in your mouth also affects your hair because again,
Mhm.
it was around the same time when I graduated from barber college that I became a member of the Nation of Islam. And so that's a very interesting story too, because I didn't know I was joining when I joined. It just made sense when they said, "Do you want to help?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll help." But I didn't know
Yeah.
I was joining, And then I went into, and the guy I was dating at that time was like, "Did you know you just joined?" I was like, "Well, if I don't want to stay, they can't make me." It just made sense to me. And so I stayed 32 years later
Yes.
because it just made sense to help. So it was at that time that then I started, of course, studying how to eat to live. Then I would start engaging in kinesiology, herbology, because I started having clients with hair issues and alopecia and thinning hair. And then my hair started thinning, but that's another whole story. So to make a long story short, it was at that stage on the journey, like I said, when you sat in my chair, it was a doctor's consultation because I'm really supporting you and empowering you to understand that what you put in your mouth affects your hair. And
Mm.
so it was a holistic approach. And so then from there, I would also, ask my clients, well, if you had, oh, yeah, I would say if at that time, I would say if, now I say when. But at that time, I would say, if you had unlimited resources, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
How would you live your life? So really empowering people to think outside of the box, and they would always say what they wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So as we get into unraveling the subconscious, that definitely plays a part into the programming.
Mm-hmm.
And so also on that journey, because again, as a child, I was always asking God, what am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? And at every phase, he would bring me the people, the teachers, the mentors, the experiences along the journey.
Yeah.
And so began doing, knew I had some gifts, wasn't really nurtured in my neighborhood, or because I was raised up in the church. That was kind of like woo woo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming to the nation and really getting the confirmation, that we are gods. We have the same essence and power, to be gods. And so really evolved that, and that inquired me to go even deeper with asking a lot of different questions now. So they were more expansive, they were more introspective, and really focused on me being the living God that I'm created to be, right?
Yes.
And so then that expanded into, in my practice in the salon, with, like I said, empowering people, and then having them to be able to look at themselves and do the things that they love doing, uncovering those type of things. And then we moved into the healing arts. So this was probably around my 16th year of being in the salon. And at this time, by this time, I'm in Chicago, living
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago. So I got registered in Atlanta, and then moved when Sister Ava, may Allah be pleased with her, became the regional minister. Then they sent me back to my hometown to be the sister in charge, and then got married, then moved to Charlotte.
Oh yeah. And
And
every.
then got a divorce. Then from Charlotte moved to Chicago. So now I'm in Chicago, and this is around about the 16th year
Mm-hmm.
of being in the hair business and business development, and doing financial literacy and all of that. Because again, what I discovered is that when you have money challenges or health challenges, it affects, when one of those areas, your health, your wealth, and your relationships, when one of those are affected, it affects all the other areas. All
Mm.
right. Yeah. And so being able to see that connection, then Allah bless me, to continue to evolve and come come out and accept the gifts, that he has deposited within each of us, because
Mm-hmm.
we all have gifts, whether we're using them or not, we all have them. So I decided to start embracing mine, little by little, because I was worried about what people's gonna say, just in full transparency on
Yeah.
that journey. I was, because even, in the nation, it was it was talked about, but in a different context,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, at least from my experience, so this is all from my interesting perspective, okay? So other people have different experiences, but for me, it was, I could tell that it was being nurtured, because I had the pleasure of being the stylist for a beloved mother, Tanetta Muhammad. And so as I was, being mentored by her, and then we were connecting with other spiritual modalities, that support her purpose and mission that
Mm-hmm.
she was destined for, right? And that the messenger was definitely guiding her on. She was able
Mm-hmm.
to be able to contribute to, um, have a contribution towards and for that journey. So I was really grateful for that. And again, so that empowered me to expand even more and go deeper. And
Mm-hmm.
that's going to allow to really support me in being able to unlock the gifts
Mm-hmm.
and really be able to stand on those gifts and be able to proudly um, express all that he has deposited within me on this journey,
Yeah.
right? So it was a continual unraveling of subconscious programming. And and so then decided to get more into the healing arts,
Mm-hmm.
really doing more. I was always into crystals. I was always fascinated with the brain, and like I said, doing the herbology. So just always at each level having different teachers to show up,
Mm-hmm.
and support me in the journey. And so it exposed me to a lot of to a lot more of the sciences, and the metaphysics, and the quantum physics, and all of those things. And then being able to see in the teachings where all this fits, you know. And so it was definitely an expansive opportunity and journey. And so when I by this time we were doing um and I might be answering some of your questions. Lord have mercy, I'm just talking.
You might be.
By
I
this,
gotta, I gotta look and see, but I'm enjoying it so far.
by this time, we were doing Dianetics, and so some of the technology that that I'm now utilizing is parallel. I won't say parallel, but well, I mean we get to that. Well, I'll go deeper into that. But at that time, that's when we were doing Dianetics, and so that was another sign for me that oh yeah, so we're really expanding,
Yeah.
now relative to um other sciences, that can support in the oneness of humanity, and, being able to be purposeful, be the living gods that they are created to be. And so the journey definitely has been one that is, you know, like this cyclical up and down, right? And
Yeah.
then like this, right? And so where I am now is still embodying a lot of those principles, and practicing now. I do have since 2014, I did get my certification as a awakening dynamics practitioner, where we support people with being able to know how to connect consciously with the subconscious mind via the theta brainwave, and empowering them to know how to get to the core of the traumas that are and the limiting beliefs that are keeping them stuck in love, health, and wealth. And so we in a group, in the business development group that I am in, we have it's called Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. And so we support people with knowing how to activate the body's ability to self-heal,
Mm.
naturally, and empowering them with the tools for the 7 domains. It's actually 13 domains of living. And so we have an all natural skincare line, and empowering people to know that what you put on your skin goes into your skin, and if you can't eat it, you don't put it on your body. Okay,
Mm.
because that's contributing to a lot of the dis-ease that we have. So that all is a part of the unraveling as well. And it's a journey, it's a lifestyle. It's not a quick fix, it's a journey. And it truly is a state of consciousness and awareness that you and it doesn't have to be complicated. You can simply begin by looking at what your purpose is, why you do what you do, simply but first by asking why you do what you do, um, wanting to know and uncover what your purpose is. And that's a deep subject too, because there's so many layers for that. For me, was definitely revealed, that Allah showed me
Yes.
as to what that looks like. And we know the minister's always talking about purpose, 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 right? And so everything has a purpose. So whenever you're getting ready to do anything, to support yourself in unraveling the subconscious programming that you may not even be aware of, and you see these patterns showing up in your life, just
Mhm.
begin to ask yourself, well, why am I doing this?
Yes.
Before you even do it, just ask yourself, okay, so what's my intention? What's my motivation? When you're getting ready to go to the store, what am I going to get? What's the purpose? I mean, it's really that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the messenger teaches us to ask questions and learn all about yourself, right? So asking those questions, starting with self first, because self-development, the basis for community development, right?
Yeah.
It starts with self. And so we really want to begin to embody that, and keep it simple. Keep it simple. And it really doesn't have to be complicated. Just really keep it simple, especially as you're starting with, yourself, and some things need to change, and you seeing these patterns that are happening. And I'm going to make a public service announcement and let you know you are not a victim, and I know we have been programmed to think that, we are, but you are not a victim, not in your proper state of consciousness. You are not a victim,
Yes.
and being able to help women, men, understand and just begin to settle on the best parts of themselves and begin to look at themselves first differently, is has been very rewarding. Has
Yeah.
been very rewarding. Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh, my sister came through and dropped some jewels already. Praise be to Allah. Wow.
Praise be to Allah.
I am super duper excited to get into this dialogue today.
Yep, me too.
So yes, yes, yes. Praise be to Allah. Thank you so much for that. And now we're gonna go ahead and get started on today's episode, the hidden blueprint of unraveling subconscious programming. And please,
Mm-hmm.
I say this all the time. This is a group dialogue. If you guys have any questions for my sister, please, please, please don't hesitate. Put it in the comment box below. And inshallah, if it be the grace of Allah, we're gonna get to those questions, right?
Right.
Yes. So, all right. So the hidden blueprint refers to the subconscious programming that actually influences 95% of our thoughts, behaviors, and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Unraveling it involves exploring the underlying patterns, just like my sister just spoke about, the underlying patterns and the conditioning that shapes our lives, all things stemming from early experiences,
Mm-hmm.
social norms, and culture influences. Understanding this blueprint can lead to a beautiful personal growth, healing, and the ability to make conscious choices aligning with our true desire and our values. So that brings me to my first question for you, Sister Felicia. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited to get into this. Like, honestly, it wasn't until I actually joined a nation where I actually was able to really embark in this journey of tapping into myself and tapping into my conscious self.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful for that. And I know you brought up just the fact of how us being able to, just I want to say that self analysis, always going
Yeah.
back in and checking with ourselves and asking ourselves questions. Now, I know they used to say back in the day, I'm talking like I'm old. I'm not old, but I used to hear, like, people are weird when they talk to themselves and stuff like that. Oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
weird. But I'm
Yeah.
like, now I'm a little older and wise. I'm like, man, I talk to myself every day. I gotta make
Mm-hmm.
sure I'm straight, because sometimes I gotta make sure that ain't, my other side, that ego
Mm-hmm.
trying to
Mm-hmm.
trying to put some suggestions on me, right?
Right.
So, my question for you is, what role does society norms and culture influences play in shaping our subconscious programming?
Thank you for asking that question. So, society and cultural norms. So, well, as we know that society sets a um standard. They have a standard, a way of doing certain things. And so when we are reared in that standard relative to our culture, if the when the culture, because the culture should be first. The culture is your environment, your home. That's a culture. The type of the people you come from, right? You know, and so when we look at our culture and the ways that we do certain things, the way that we interact with each other, when our parents when our parents um reared us and when they were reared, it's patterns that pass down from generation to generation to generation, right? And so that begins to shape, the standards, your environment. And so when that standard, or that your environment at home is different than, or it conflicts with the standard that the world has, then that's where some of the conflict, or the disconnect just came up. But I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that's, yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay, thank you a lot. Okay, yeah, the disconnect
Yeah.
occurs. And so when we are able, and as we are able to, as we're growing and we're being nurtured, because by the time, as Bruce Lipton says, by the time you're 7, and this makes sense, as we look at the teachings, because what Yakub knew at 6
Mm-hmm.
what he was going to be doing, right? So when you're growing up and you are in an environment that is shaping you, you are actually always in what's called a theta state before the age of 7. And so you're very susceptible. And so the theta state is also what is used, is that time span, short brainwave frequency, where when you're asleep but you're not all the way there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's that short window, or I could say it like this: it's that window of time that when you're waking up from a sleep, but you're not all the way woke. It's that short window of time, and that's an highly influential, susceptible time where you can be influenced, right? And so from the time we're born up until 7, you are highly, you're susceptible to be shaped and molded, right? And so that begins to create the environment. So based off of the programming of your parents and your family that has been passed on to generation, then that contributes to the subconscious programming that you experience, because a lot of times we didn't, when our parents said money don't grow on trees, well, where did that come from? Why? I mean, like, even why?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that even important? And it's important because many people, certain families have money challenges, right? And have been brought up to believe that, oh, you have to, it's either this or that. The less affluent families, they don't have an abundance of wealth and money or access to resources. And so you begin to now be molded to think that this is just how it is, and it's not. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. And so that's why our environment is truly important, especially no matter what age you are now. You can't go back to change it, quote unquote. I mean, you can, however, you can take the wisdom from the past and be able to now use that to support you in co-creating with the law of God your future. And
Hmm.
so being able to recognize those programmings, those limiting beliefs, especially with where you are now, and knowing the direction that you are choosing to experience and co-create your life, you can now use that information to be able to support you in making the necessary changes, so that you are the one that break the curses and those patterns of beliefs, that so that you're not passing it on to your children.
Hmm.
So I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Wow. Ooh. Ah, wow. It's kind of it's kind of it's kind of crazy just to believe how much, even within that short time frame of, I learned in Dianetics, and I'm pretty sure, you
Mm-hmm.
you you took Dianetics, that,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that initial trauma can start when you're actually in the womb, or
Yeah.
the experience that you may have may start like when you're actually in the womb, and then you have that short amount of time from that time till you are about 7, to
Mm-hmm.
where that ends up shaping you, who you are. And
Right.
unfortunately, we see a lot of, I will believe, younger people having children that haven't addressed certain issues,
Right.
and passing it on down because they don't know any better. So their children
Right.
are constantly going through this competitive cycle of this subconscious programming. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that takes me to my next question for you, just about just that short period of time in that childhood state that we're
Mm-hmm.
in. Because I can honestly say, like, once I started embarking into my healing journey, I realized that a lot of my ways came from things that I experienced when I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and behaviors that I seen that my parents had showed. And
Yeah. Okay.
it's kind of like, when you get to that point, that's why, like you said earlier, like, it's so important. Like, once you go in and you check yourself, because it's kind of like, the sooner you know, the better. Because when you're able to spot it, you want to go ahead and self-correct it, because the
Right.
longer
Yeah.
you go with not checking it, the worse that it can get. So my next
Mm-hmm.
question for you is, how do our childhood experiences contribute to the formation of our subconscious programming?
So it's interesting, and I'm going to go here. Okay. So the childhood experience. Okay, so many of us, and I want everybody to do your due diligence. Okay, so many of us chose the parents that we have.
Oh, you gotta
Yeah.
tell me about this.
Many of us, so as go deeper into, I mean, and just ask a lot of, a lot of guy, whether you Christian, Muslim, Hindu, whoever, even if you atheist, the universal consciousness, when you ask a question, you're gonna get some answers.
Mhm.
Okay. uh so just begin to ask, and even do your due diligence with studying, um that when you are born, we because everything is energy. So let me just say it like this: everything is energy. And when there are challenges, or this goes into past life, stuff, and this goes into karma. you know. So as we have had different experiences, for many of us, there have been opportunities, and there are opportunities for us to be able to understand and know why we are here in this particular dispensation of time, and what is the purpose. So a lot of us chose the parents that we have when we look at it relative to energy, because it's neither created nor destroyed, right? And when we look at energy and frequency and thought processes, you can begin to, for yourself, begin to unravel and ask, why did I choose these parents? What is the lesson? What am I to learn from this experience with these parents? Having these parents. And you'll be amazed at some of the insights that God will bless you to be able to be aware of. Okay. And it's a I don't know the technical name of the science. However, like I said, when you just, because those of you that are listening to this, many of you in some shape, form, or fashion have probably thought about this, right? And that, it has been a question with all of the information that is out here, and even what we learn, in the nation. There is a depth of knowledge in the nation that is coming forth, because he had to give it to us as baby food first, right? Had to give it to us, slowly. And so as we are now beginning to truly accept ourselves, and by the minister's example of the power that we have access to, when you study the four Jesuses, okay, that lecture he did with the four Jesuses, when you study that, you are able to experience and see the power that you have, and what has supported me in being able to ask these type of questions. It is just that, because when I listen to the minister and I see the examples, and he talks about, he has to come down so many cycles to relate to us, and when he shares that type of information with us, it supports me with being able to, you know, ask Allah some other type of questions as to, okay, so what is he really saying? you know what does that mean for me? Because he's telling us that, and the Bible says, Jesus said, greater works I do, you can do. Okay, so being raised up in the church, coming into the nation, it wasn't a real challenge for me to understand that Allah came in the person of Master Farah Muhammad. That wasn't an issue for me. So with that being the case, that empowered me to be able to really ask some different type of questions. Just like in the church, when you ask certain questions, they be like, don't ask that question, just follow, just do what it say, but, and what I love about the nation relative to that is that when we ask those questions, at least for me, when I ask those type of questions, the minister would come in some shape, form, or fashion, or Mother Tanetta, or Dr. Minister Ava, even Dr. Aline, when he was present, active among us, they would bring the answers. Yes. So again, this is a journey that each one of us have to be able to stand on for ourselves personally, because I know I was handpicked by God. I know that. I do. It's no coincidence. I know it. And so to get back to answering your question, the subconscious programming is what it is. It's subconscious. So that means when we look at the subconscious, it is a sub is under or beneath, right? And conscious is awareness. And I think I took some notes here. Conscious, when we look up the etymology of the word, conscious is privy to, knowing. And it comes from the root word conceer, which is to be mutually aware. So con is with or thoroughly, and sire is to know. So it's
Mm,
a sense of active and awake endured with active mental faculties. So when we look at subconscious, that's something that is you are not aware of.
mm,
So how does that connect to the to us physically? So the okay, thank you, Allah. So think about it like this. You don't have to think about your heart beating. You don't have to make your heart beat. You don't have to worry
mhm,
about breathing, right? You don't have to worry about the organs functioning, right? And so the subconscious is connected to that autonomic nervous system. That means it's automatic, it happens automatically. And so, with that being the case, the again the experiences that and the mindsets and the beliefs that the parents had, that's passed on through the womb, like you were saying. And so a lot of the childhood experiences relative to your purpose, and that's why the birth, how to give birth to a God is so important, because who knew before coming into the Nation of Islam that you should pray before you have sex?
mm,
Like, who knew that? Who was doing that?
right.
I mean, like, really, who was doing that? My mama did. Well, I can't say. I don't know if my mama did that or not. I have to ask her, my dad. I don't know. I have to ask. But I'm just saying, the way that the science of it, we weren't taught that.
Yeah.
And this part right here, brother Ghazi, I gotta give my brother credit. This brother laid this on me last week, and it made so much sense. One of his, you got to get him on the show. One of this is brother Ghazi Muhammad. One of the experiences and thoughts that stuck out for him that the minister said.
Mm,
He said that we are cowards, and especially when it comes to slavery. This is the context of slavery. He was saying that the minister was saying, and I don't quote me now. Okay, I'm just telling you how he said it to me.
yeah.
Okay, so he was stating, in my words, that relative to slavery, that he was saying that the minister was saying that we are all cowards because we want to keep blaming the white man for slavery. Thank you, Allah. Ooh, that's what he said.
Mm,
Yeah, that we want to keep blaming the white man for slavery. And he said we're cowards because we don't have the courage to be able to ask God why he allowed it to happen.
oh,
Now, how does that all tie in? Okay, I'm
but
just saying
that
that.
just makes me think about. I'm sorry. That just makes me think about what I've always been taught not to question God. We was taught.
Right.
Why was we taught not to question God? Mm.
Good point. Good point. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, because we were taught that. Raised up in the church. Yeah.
I
In
ain't
the
gonna.
church. Raised up in church. Don't question God. That's true. Well, the
Mm.
minister done busted all that up because
Okay.
he, you know, and that's what he was saying is that, we're cowards because God allowed it to happen for a reason. And he said the reason, this was the other part. Oh my God. He said the reason is because that there was the cry of the people had to be so intense that God would have to come himself.
Mm. Drop the mic,
Boom.
man. Whew.
So being able to understand, again, asking why you asking questions and learning all about yourself, open-ended questions, and these are and not being judgmental of the answers that you get,
Yeah.
you know, and being open to receive the answers in a way and ask for it to come in a way that it's clear that that's the answer to your question.
Yeah. Whew.
So that subconscious programming that is passed on from generation to generation is exactly that. It's patterns and ways of being that are now supporting you to be able to become aware of why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing, right? And looking at the environment that you're in and knowing that you have the capacity to be the one to change that condition and don't have to pass it on.
Woo. It's so deep that I don't I really don't I don't really truly believe. Well, I believe that we're getting there, especially people, our people just in general are getting there into that awakening, but how important it is that we have to get back connected with self.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to ask those hard questions.
Questions. Yeah.
Cause sis, it's really a scary journey, kind of embarking in understanding really who you are. I think it was
Are.
for me
Mm-hmm.
because it opened up things that I didn't want
Okay.
to deal with it no more. Like most of the time, like we usually, there are things that we know about and we just
Mm-hmm.
shoved it somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially things that has influenced us a lot, especially with me, just within my childhood, to where
Mm-hmm.
I ended up uncovering. And you said this earlier. I think this is a really really good point. Just about those patterns. You being
Mm-hmm.
able to actually going into self, asking those questions, and it took me back to because what I've been doing is that I allow, I kiss my holy Quran front to back,
Mm-hmm.
and I ask
Mm-hmm.
Allah to just guide me to what you want me to look at today. And the other day he sent me to a ayah, and he was just saying, like, it said, I don't remember which one, but I know it said, pray to me and I will answer you.
Answer you.
I will
Yes.
answer you.
Yes.
Telling you, sis, like, and I know, like, you ask him a question, he will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that
Mm-hmm.
faith come in, that knowing that he will answer you. So us being able to not be cowards and muscle
Yep.
up that strength to be able
Yep.
to go in to answer the questions that we have, so we can be able to break that generational curse. To me, that's that curse of that subconscious programming of those unlimiting beliefs that's keeping
Mm-hmm.
us subjected to the condition that you continuously
Right.
see
And that you're
people in.
right,
Ooh.
that you're comfortable with. Yeah. Cause that's another whole thing with, the environments that we're in, and these the timing that we are in these environments, and becoming comfortable because this is what we know, and not having the courage, or not even having I won't even say that it's not having the courage. Some people don't even think that they can have anything different
Mm.
because that's all they know.
Hopeless.
Yeah. And that right there, oh my gosh, it's really an interesting perspective, an interesting experience. Really refraining from judgment is really an interesting experience when you are in environments that, and many of our people are, there are many people of across the world that are don't even know that they can have something different,
Mm-hmm.
because this is just how it's always been, and this is just how they've always done it.
Yes.
you
Whew.
know so you definitely, again, just by asking the questions, beginning to ask the questions relative to what you experienced in your childhood, forgiving first, being able to be forgiving of all the experiences, rape, incest, molestation, you know violence, all of that, being able to be forgiving of the experience, yourself, the perpetrators, and, freeing yourself from, oh, why me, being a victim, freeing yourself from that, and beginning to, ask the deep questions. And Allah will, in traveling with the wise man, Allah will, um, he don't put no more on you than you can bear, right? And when you can bear it, bless, and when you're experiencing it, best believe that you can bear it. You got the strength to bear it. You got to be able to prove it to yourself that you got the strength to bear it. And that's what a lot of us are not, we haven't been programmed to know how to do that. We haven't seen examples of how to do that. What does that look like?
Yes.
Right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh Lord, this is fire. I know we got some questions here in the comment box. I do want to get to it, but I just need to know if y'all guys, if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, 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 please show your support by donating today. Text the word donate to 937-313-2466 today to help sustain future episodes. And now y'all want to keep seeing this fire. Listen, this ain't it. I'm 2 years in. I'm trying to get years up in here. We gonna make it happen. We got some truth that we gotta bring to our people. So
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
guys are
Yeah.
enjoying this episode, please, please, please show your support. Also, if you are enjoying all of the broadcasts here on CTG Broadcast, we actually have some new broadcasts on the network as well. Please, please, please show your support as well. Information to donate will be on your screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's show, the hidden blueprint. Unraveling Subconscious Program with Sister Felicia.
Yay. Woo
Oh,
woo.
praise be to
Praise be
Allah.
to
It's so many
Allah.
questions. It's so many questions I like want to ask you. Like you're
Oh,
really going in depth like with this, but I don't want to forget about our audience. Usually I'm
oh
the
yeah,
one
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I'm the one asking all the questions, but I'm seeing people trying to tap in today. So
Okay, cool.
look
Yeah, let's go. Let's
what
go.
I have here. All right. So I have a question here for Sister Ebony Simone. I hope I said it right. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Okay, is meditation the start of the subconscious level? What cues during meditation let us know the frequencies needed to understand how the subconscious works? I hope you understand that.
So, is meditation the start of the subconscious levels? I won't say that it's the start. It is a pathway that you can begin to um transform and really prepare the physical body and the emotional body, the mental body, to be able to begin to um shift and clear it, and just allowing yourself to be present with what's happening right here right now, because meditation is it's a stillness. It is a inner process by which you're allowing yourself to just be,
Hmm.
okay, with meditation. So there's a phrase that I've heard, and I posted and put some pictures with it. It says meditation, praying is talking to God, meditation is listening.
Hmm.
Praying is talking to God, and meditation is listening. And so the 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 what cues during meditation let us know the frequencies needed to understanding how the subconscious works. So the silence,
Mm-hmm.
the silence, when as you continue to practice meditation, because when you first start, and this is something I empower people with being able to know how to do too, is begin, taking that time to be still and just quiet the mind. And when you do that, because you haven't always done it, when you focus on patience, you get more things to be patient with, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when you focusing on meditating, the mind is going to be running a mile a minute. You're going to be like, what? We supposed to be being quiet. What are you doing up there? We supposed
Woo!
to be still.
That thing.
We supposed to be like silence and, just being in the void, in the space. When you close your eyes and you see the darkness and you have that one spark of light, it may be a few sparks for others, but you see that spark of light and you see the vastness of space. That is that original mind womb, that the first creation that God created himself from, that space right there. That's what you're connecting into.
Mm,
So when you are in this space of meditation, yeah, and you start, and your mind is going to be like wondering, and the ego is going to be like, what are you doing? We supposed to be doing this, we got to do that,
yeah.
and it's all over the place, right? And so you simply just want to just continue to breathe, allow it to do what it's doing, and like, okay, and just focus on your breath. When you inhale and exhale, inhale again and exhale. Just focus on your breath. You can even count, when you're meditating, so you'll take the focus from the thoughts, and you'll have it on just counting 1, 2, 3. You're doing this silently. If you have to do it out loud, that's fine. No problem. No judgment. Whatever it takes to get you in that pattern, and the more consistent you do it, that is the process of unraveling of that monkey mind, because then
Mm,
it'll start getting quiet. The
yeah.
more you do it, it'll start getting quiet. And I recommend people start with 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Just start somewhere. Start with 60 seconds. If you can do 3 minutes, do 3 minutes. But start somewhere. Start 30 seconds.
Yes.
Because you'll be amazed that 30 seconds be like seeming like it's a long time when when you first start. So empowering that helps.
Yes, yes. Ooh, that was
Yeah.
a beautiful question. I actually believe like when it comes when it comes to meditation, I've been practicing meditation like even before I joined the nation. I actually
Mm-hmm.
practicing it back in 2017. Um
Mm-hmm.
I had to really, really get it down packed because I wasn't breathing right. And it's
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
It is crazy to know that we don't breathe right,
Right.
unfortunately. So
Right.
when I was able to actually get into the breathing and actually relax and actually understanding that, we naturally just we're living in this busy environment. Our brain is busy, just like you said, that monkey mind
Mm-hmm.
is always busy. So when it comes to being able to use meditation, um, with unlocking the subconscious mind, I don't think it actually like completely unlocks it, but it gives you,
Right.
to
Mm-hmm.
me, I feel like it gives you a starting point to be able to program your day-to-day life to not always be in a just of a rush. So when you're able to hear, if you want to talk to Allah or you want to hear Allah, He's able
Mm-hmm.
to come to you morally throughout the day when you're practicing more mindfulness. Then,
Right.
I want to say,
Mm-hmm.
then other than just Allah always striving to trying to come through you in a dream. And it takes me back to the to a lecture that Sister Ava did, may Allah be pleased. And she talked about how, and I know you kind of remember just about how, like, God being able to communicate with us through dreams, a person
Mm-hmm.
straight through
Mm-hmm.
you. But it's
Right.
about us in that dream state, and how us working on ourselves is important because he can't get through that filth with the dirty mind, us eating all kinds of stuff.
Right.
He ain't gonna
Right.
get through that. So I just really think with meditation, I love it so much that now, me personally, and I know I know my sister had to experience this, but like when I meditate now, like I'm able to actually, I know that I done got deep into the meditation because now I'm seeing, like, I always see a purple light. Like,
Okay.
oh, in
Mm-hmm.
purple, and like the light will get brighter and brighter. Then I feel my body getting more like relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's just my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, when you're able to do that, I would say morely in like the morning times or early in the morning, it kind of really set the tone of the day to be
Yeah.
able to be more aware. So I really, really love meditation. It's like great. Like, do you? I know I ain't gonna say I know, but like, do you use meditation a lot?
I do. I do. I haven't. I have gotten um I've been inconsistent with it.
Mm,
Um, and I've started back doing it more and even throughout the day. So with when I'm meditating, yeah, sound like Sister Callie, yeah, Dr. Jules student, yeah. And so as I'm meditating, um, throughout the day, you said something really key because that meditation supports you, like when you're doing it, it supports you with being able to be present in the
Mm-hmm.
present moment, right? And so I thought about the sister's question again relative to the subconscious with using meditation that supports you with meditation supports you with the subconscious awareness. It supports you with being present,
Mm-hmm.
supports you with being present, because a lot of times what's happening in the subconscious stems from a lot of things that occurred in the past, and that is at the root of what's at some of the a lot of the subconscious blocks that are keeping us stuck, because it's we're speaking, and this connects to it too, we're speaking in the past. We're speaking, and when I say we're speaking in the past, we're always talking about what we can't do. You know, we're always basing what we talking about off an experience that happened in the past.
Yes.
And so that keeps the subconscious mind operating in the past. And
Mm-hmm.
although the subconscious mind, when we're speaking, because words have power, when we are, and even it starts before even the words, it's the thought. It's the
Yeah.
thought. So when you are thinking about things, whether you say it out loud or not, when you're thinking about things and it's all based off of what has occurred in the past, then that's what you're going to continue to create more experiences of what that looked like from the past. The actors may be different, some of the circumstances may be different.
Yeah.
However, the principle of the thing is still the same. You are running programs from the past, so you keep experiencing and getting the results from the past. How do I know? Yeah, I know.
Listen.
Oh, yeah. So that made me so that made me really think differently about the sister's question relative to the meditation. But the meditation, I'll say, and the meditation helps you stay present so that you are in present time with what's happening right now. Yeah. So
Mm,
it definitely helps you to stay present. The more you do it, throughout the day, do it after prayer. Just take a few minutes and, get in your posture, or even just do it in sajda. I've done that. I do that often in sajda, and I do my meditation, after I pray,
mm-hmm.
so it's, you can get as creative, because you're God. You can get as creative as you need to, with it. Yeah.
Yes. Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back for part two. I still got a lot. I got like a million questions for you. You like, girl, come on now. But I do want to end it. I do want to end it with some with this last question. Um, now, what are some techniques besides meditation, or some things that we can do that can help us uncover and understand our subconscious belief and patterns, so we can be able to, reprogram our mind?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked. So, when you notice cycles that keep happening, that keep happening. So, the first step is when you recognize that a cycle keeps happening, you want to ask as an observer, not as one in judgment of yourself, okay? Not as one in judgment. I have to say that. Do not refrain from being in judgment of yourself with these cycles, okay? Once you recognize this is a cycle, okay, you keep seeing the same thing happening over and over again. All
Mm-hmm.
right. You want to first acknowledge, the cycle. Okay. Because again, everything has a purpose.
Mm.
Everything has a purpose. So this is the default. The default is okay, everything has a purpose. So what is the purpose? I keep experiencing this cycle of um, having challenges with money. Okay, so what is this? It seems like I can, and this I can relate to this personally. I keep I keep doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing all the things, but it seems like, I'll have some successes and then it'll be like the dang on Sahara Desert, dry as I'll get out. Like, really? Okay. And then I get some more successes. So, how this happened for me, okay, thank you, Allah. How this happened for me was that when I recognized I was having these patterns, then how I started doing this work that I'm doing with supporting people with knowing how to access the subconscious mind with through awakening theta state, I was able to recognize that I had to be honest with myself. So that's the first thing. You gotta be willing to be honest with yourself about your stuff.
Mm.
You gotta be willing to be honest with yourself about your stuff. And right there, that's gonna stop a lot of people. But I'm
Mm.
just saying, that's number
Uh,
one.
Ooh, that's hard.
So that's a limiting belief. So it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. So, and how can I say it doesn't have to be hard? Because it's true. The fact is, yeah, it is hard. But does it have to stay that way?
Right.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to stay that way. So now that you've acknowledged that it's hard, okay, so now you ask step two, you ask Allah to give you the strength and the courage to be able to move through this, because what after difficulty or with difficulty is ease. So we acknowledge this hard. Now I'm ready, Allah. So just take me baby steps now. I'm crawling. I'm crawling. Give me the courage to be able to ask the question. What question do I need to be asking? So it's really a dialogue that you having
Ooh,
between you and the God
yes.
to help you navigate this. Because again, how you do one thing, and I just believe I've learned this. I didn't think it was true at first. And it for me, I found some validity in it. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to first have the courage, acknowledge it first, then muster up the courage, pray for the courage, right? And then as the messenger teaches us, you want to, when you acknowledge that you ready to deal with this cycle, give yourself some grace and some love and be grateful, because the messenger says we acknowledge it's the smallest improvement. So give yourself and acknowledge. Yay, thank you, Allah. Ooh, all praises be to Allah. I feel so good. I'm going to celebrate. Honor yourself with where you are. Right? So, third thing, so we got acknowledge, muster up the courage. The third thing is, okay, be honest with yourself, right? The third thing is you want to now be able to forgive yourself.
Mm.
Forgive yourself for, because once you start, when you ask that question and Allah starts showing you little signs and little symbols, and you're like, this is all I had to do all that
Mm.
time, all that time. This is all I had to do is just ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, man, you start thinking about how much time you don't waste. I could have did this. Man, I
Yeah.
should have did this a long time ago. So forgive yourself and stay
Ooh.
present. Come back, sweetie. Come back to the present moment. This is where we at right now. That's the past. Now you're taking the wisdom. You're taking the wisdom from what you've been doing, what you've learned, and now you're moving forward. So this is how you are embodying this process of being able to connect with the subconscious mind. And so another thing you can do, okay, so let me just go right to this part. Another thing you can do before you go to bed at night, or right as you are, when you like sleepy and you're just like, oh God, I'm ready. Just start being in gratitude.
Yes.
Start being grateful. Run down through the day what you were grateful for, even the stuff that didn't work out like you thought it was. So you grateful now because you get a chance to see how else you can do it and what you need to do different. Be in gratitude. And I have a gift. I have a gift for your audience. Okay, so I have some binaural beats that can support you with being in a theta state while you go to sleep, and you can just listen to this while you sleep, and
Mm,
it will support you as you are reflecting on the day and you're being in gratitude. So as you are being in gratitude for these experiences and you are honoring yourself, that's an aspect of you clearing it. And
mm,
you can set the intention that we are now getting ready to clear all the people, places, and things that no longer serve me today.
mm. Whew.
Yeah. So I'll send you that recording, and you can share with the people.
Ooh, I like that. I'm gonna do that. It's
Yeah.
it's something, you know what? It's like my morning routines be on point, but that night routine, and I think that's
Mm-hmm.
like the most important because like most of the times, I think we kind of wake up even with stuff that happened.
Right.
We straight off of what happened yesterday. Oh, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
get this done. Oh, remember when that person said this, and he done made me mad and
Right.
wake
Right.
up
Right. Right.
still mad. But
Right.
I love how you brought up the fact that like you can write out what you're grateful for. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to switch it up and start doing it more at night before I lay
Mm-hmm.
down. I do it in the morning times, but I think just something
Mm-hmm.
about just like right before going to bed, like you said, you letting all those people, places, and things that disturbed your day, you letting it go for the day. It's
Right.
over with. Time to
Yep.
start.
Lesson learned. Got the lesson. All right. So now get a chance. God
Mm-hmm.
bless us to wake up and see another day. We have the spirit of redemption. We can be redeemed, starting with ourselves first.
Okay, listen. Woo-hoo, praise be to Allah. Wow, this was such a beautiful conversation with you, Sister Felicia. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just love having, just dialogues like this because, I learned so much about
Mm-hmm.
myself and I love learning about others and just learning different things that I can do it to improve. So,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you so very much, sis, for joining us today to discuss this amazing topic. Overcome. Oh, I had my old title on here. The hidden blueprint. Hold on, wait. The hidden blueprint: unraveling subconscious programming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give me a moment, y'all. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and Healing Tribe for joining us today. I hope that
Yay.
informative. Now, this I know it was informative, valuable, and healing for you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast station. Closing the Gap broadcast here on Facebook, CTG broadcast on YouTube, and of course, Healing with Angelica podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help spread this message of healing to those in need. Also, if you are interested in starting your healing journey today, I am here to assist. You can start that healing journey today by texting the word ready to 937-313-2466 to get started on your healing journey today. That information will be shown on your screen below. Also, if you are interested in our Healing Tribe merch, I'm going to show some on the screen. I know it's getting a little warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all the. We have some thinner shirts here, long sleeve for my MGT sisters. You want to grab that here, but the weather kind of flippy floppy. So hey, just get it for the winter time too. You never know. So if you are interested in our Healing Tribe merch as well, definitely text the word tribe to 937-313-2466 to join the Healing Tribe. Also,
Yay.
just a friendly reminder that any purchases that you make is to help to sustain and support Healing with Angelica. So please keep that in mind. So if you want to keep seeing Healing with Angelica podcast on the air, definitely just, support your girl. Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to
Also,
Allah.
yes, also, if you know anyone that is in need of prayer, yes, listen, we all know that we can all definitely first and foremost always pray to Allah. But it's nothing more than having a support system to also pray with you. And Healing with Angelica is here for that. So if you know or if you are in need of prayer, please text the word prayer to 937-313-2466. Sister Felicia, this
Yay!
Hey, oh my God. Thank you so much for joining us today. And before we end today's show, do you have any
Hmm.
remarks for our audience today?
So the closing remarks would be or are to stay in the present moment and remember self-improvement is the basis for community development. It starts with you first and foremost. And I tell you, as long as you have the courage to be honest with yourself about why you do what you do, 9 times out of 10, Allah is going to support you with grace and mercy. Okay. Always know that. And remember to think about what you think about, because they thoughts definitely is where it begins, and it is a protein, okay, that goes throughout the whole body. That's another whole subject. Goes
Ooh,
throughout the whole body, right? And it vibrates at a frequency. So be intentional with the words that you use, and mean what you say what you mean, and always be in forgiveness of yourself. Always be in forgiveness of yourself and be in gratitude. Be
ooh.
in gratitude.
Yes, yes, always being gratitude. And it's funny that you said that about the protein real quick. I actually learned that in this class that I had just took, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like in us. So being mindful of how we speak to ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and how we speak to ourselves, how we speak to others on a day-to-day basis, that inner dialogue with self is so important, because just within that's within itself is creating a protein
Mm-hmm.
that is surfacing within your body. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they be like, the mind really controls the body, because hey, you end up thinking something negative and it shows in your outer appearance,
Mm-hmm.
outer appearance. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
so glad you touched on that. Oh, this was so deep. You got to come back, girl. I got to find you again.
Yes. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, praise be to Allah. Again, I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. And we see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Healing.